Blessed are the Stoveminders, for theirs is the kingdom of baseball. It's December the 28th, 2020. I'm sitting in a dugout right now. It's a rare sunny day in winter. I apologize for all the fucking crows. But I'm out here under blue skies because the stove is too hot. It is way too hot. And I have one team and one team only to blame. The San Diego Padres have gone absolutely insane. Padres general manager A.J. Preller is sicko mode. He is sicko mode. This is astonishing what in the span of 2 days the Padres have managed to do. But let's take it back to last season so you know where the San Diegos stood prior to this flurry of activity. So, the Dads finished 2020 with the third best record in baseball before getting swept in the NLDS by the eventual champions, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Best record in baseball. In season, the Daddios generated a lot of hype thanks to the performances of Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., and the rest of the Slam Diego crew. And then at the 2020 trade deadline, they bolstered their weak spot, pitching, by acquiring none other than Mike Clevinger in a 9-player trade with the Cleveland Indians. Then they signed Clevinger to a 2-year extension, and on the same day announced that Clevy had to get Tommy John surgery and would miss all of 2021. So there goes that, we have saved our rotation. So what did the Padres do? Give up? No. They start asking around. Hey, who's trying to trade a starter? Sonny Gray? You Darvish? What's up? Who's available? And in the process, A.J. Preller called up the most small-minded team in baseball. The Tampa Bay Quadruple A Rays, who despite finishing 2020 with the best regular season record in the AL and the league pennant, will forever behave like a small market team that can't afford its top players. And to Tampa said San Diego, and I paraphrase heavily, hey, we heard you're shopping your best pitcher. Yeah, the guy who you pulled early in Game 6 of the World Series while he was on fire, even hotter than the stove is right now, because of a preset game plan, and then you lost the game and the series because of it. I'm talking about Blake Snell, who frankly deserves better, and he will get better, as he will be wearing Padres brown and gold next year and beyond. Yes, the Padres have acquired Blake Snell, left-handed starting pitcher, in exchange for 4 players, right-handers Luis Patino and Cole Wilcox, along with catchers Francisco Mejia and Blake Hunt. Let's start with Snell, the centerpiece of this deal. He's 28 years old. He's under contract through 2023 with a salary that'll clock in at $10.5 million next year, which is a bargain, going up to $16 million in 2023. Not bad if he can keep up this number 1 level pitching that he's been doing throughout, really his whole career. 5 seasons, Snell has an ERA and FIP both in the 3s, a whip of 1.237, and very high strikeout numbers, 10.5 average through 9 innings. As I mentioned, Snell has been consistent, and in this business that means a lot, with the one outlier being 2018, when he won the AL Cy Young Award. He was striking out everybody. And that about tells you what his ceiling is, and besides that, a solid above-average starter. In the last 3 seasons, Snell has held opposing batters to a .206 batting average and a .628 OPS, while almost a third of plate appearances against him have resulted in strikeouts. This guy's great. Okay, you probably know that. And now Blake Snell will join a Padres rotation that has the talent, but might lack in certainty. I mentioned they won't have Clevinger next year. And what about Chris Paddock, who took the league by storm in 2019 only to have a sophomore slump? Will the same issue come up for Dinelson Lamet, who had a great rookie season in 2020, but A lot left to be seen there. Oddly enough, Zach Davies is the only starter besides Snell I'd feel very comfortable about going into 2021. And I get he has an injury history, but Davies has been on one the past 2 seasons. Been pretty good. They won't have all those guys at once, however, as Davies as a free agent after 2021, unless they could re-sign him. But for the very near future, Blake Snell and Mike Clevenger at the top of a rotation, I would be pretty stoked about that. On to the Rays' return, which constitutes 4 players, as I mentioned. Righty reliever Luis Patino was the number 3 prospect for the Padres, made his debut in 2020 through 17-plus innings of badly controlled baseball, 21 strikeouts to 14 walks, my goodness. Granted, Patino had only thrown as high as Double-A and just 7.2 innings pitched there pre-2020, so the 21-year-old Colombian has a lot of work to do. Will probably end up in the minors given how good the Rays bullpen is. And then there's Francisco Mejia. Wow, this guy was a former top prospect, and I mean top. Ranked as high as number 11 by MLB Pipeline in all of baseball. Mejia was traded to the Padres from the Indians in 2018 for a couple of relievers, Adam Simber and Brad Hand. Remember that trade? Mejia is not impressed in limited action over 4 big league seasons. 362 plate appearances. His slash is 225, 282, 386. As a matter of fact, he posted a negative OPS plus in 2020, which I did not know was possible. Not much to say as far as his catching either. Mejia is 25 years old, so there is some time, especially when you're talking about the defensive and management aspects of catching. His scouting report highlights his contact skills and his arm strength. He's also a switch hitter, which is nice, but he'll probably take a backseat to Mike Zunino in Tampa's backstop rotation, since Zunino is more experienced and is pretty well regarded as a defensive catcher. And the other 2 guys, you got right-hander Cole Wilcox, 21-year-old out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, standing 6'5", 232 pounds. Wilcox was drafted in the 3rd round this past summer out of UGA. That is the University of Georgia. And as a result, he missed out on pitching in the minors in 2020. Wilcox has a high 90s fastball, and he was ranked 7th in the Padres system with a big league ETA of 2023. And then Blake Hunt, the other Blake in this trade, is a 22-year-old catcher out of Costa Mesa, California. Number 17 prospect in the Padres system pre-trade, has played as high as Class A with a 2022 ETA. Hunt has all field power and a high-end arm strength, a catcher for the future for the Rays, mind you. Okay, all in all, big picture, this does not look like the shiny package I would have expected in return for Blake Snell. The Rays get essentially 3 minor leaguers, none of whom come with exceptional hype or readiness, and there's no telling at all if Francisco Mejia can finally break through and deliver on the hype he's had in the past. Did the Rays even ask for the Padres' number 1 prospect, one of the best pitching prospects in baseball, period, left-hander Mackenzie Gore? I mean, I would assume they did, but I guess the Padres said no, and I mean, you're trading your ace. You gotta get something huge, and even as a quantity over quality trade. Like I mentioned, his salary, Snell is not overpaid. He might, in fact, be underpaid. He comes with several seasons, 3 seasons of control. Pretty good as far as a guy you can get via trade. I don't know. Rays general manager Eric Neander has a good track record of trades and low-key additions. This organization is good at identifying talent, so maybe their scouting department sees something in Patino and Wilcox and Blake Hunt. But at the moment, this looks like a grand bargain for San Diego, especially considering how loaded that organization is to begin with. Even trading all these guys I just mentioned, it does leave them with a bit of a hole at catcher, but that's something you can rectify on the free agent market. And considering where their rotation is now, if all these guys pitch as well as they can next year, Snell, Davies, Lamet, Paddock, oh boy. And they were not done there. Nope. Straight out of Korea, infielder Ha-Seong Kim is also coming to San Diego. Terms have not been publicly finalized, but the word is 4 to 5 years in length and a salary of between 7 and 8 million per year, plus the posting fee that San Diego will have to pay. Ha-Seong Kim is a 25-year-old with 7 seasons of KBO experience. Yes, he debuted as a teenager. Now, the KBO is noted as a hitter-friendly league, but prior to 2019, they changed the ball to try and calm things down. Take note, Robert Manfred. Since then, Kim has hit .307 with an .893 OPS, 42% better than his peers in terms of weighted runs created plus. And I should note that the KBO managed to get off basically a full season in 2020, so that's 2 full years, not the asterisk that I have to add when talking about Major League stats. Anyway, Kim has 20-20-20 potential, meaning in several seasons he's hit 20-plus home runs, 20-plus doubles, and stolen over 20 bases. Speaking of that, he has a 90% success rate on 62 stolen base attempts since the start of 2019. You gotta love it. Kim has played mostly shortstop with experience at third base and a little bit at other positions too, which is important because reports state that the Padres plan to play Kim at second base with Jake Cronenworth, who they acquired in a trade with, guess who, the Tampa Bay Rays. How did that trade go again? What was that? Was that Tommy Pham and Jake Cronenworth for Hunter Renfroe? God damn it. I think, you know what? I'm starting to doubt this Neander character. I'm starting to doubt this Rays front office. They're supposed to be good at building a team out of nothing. It looks like they're good at tearing down a good team as well. Yeah, coming through with the hot takes on a cold day. Anyway, where was I? Yes, Cronenworth going to left. Kim's defensive scouting identifies good range and arm strength, so no concerns there about playing a position he's not super experienced with, although you should expect growing pains as far as his batting, but considering Ha-Seong's all-around skills, including high walk totals and low strikeouts in the KBO, you got to be stoked as a Padres fan for what this guy could potentially do, even if only 1 or 2 of his tools translate as very good into the major league level. So, let's do a little bit of an audit here. So, estimating Kim's salary, it's at $7.5 million. That puts the San Diego payroll at an estimated $136 million for 2021. Shout out to Spot Rack. They are on it. They already have Blake Snell punched in. That would qualify as the 8th highest in baseball at the moment. But considering the New York Mets are currently in the 8th spot, and they have been talked about in regards to a bunch of the high-end free agents, things are not over yet. Indeed, the Padres might not be done themselves because they've been talking to the Cubs regarding what could be a massive trade, what could be a blockbuster. I'm talking about like a dual franchise altering move. This could completely like unseat me if this was to happen, and word is it's getting pretty close. What's going on? The main player in question, Darvish. Guy the Padres have been negotiating about for the past 2 days at least. Darvish comes with 3 years and $62 million left on his contract, so he can pay about 20-plus mil a year. But considering the elite performance has put up since mid-2019, and the fact that the Cubs need to cut payroll after their owner decided to launch a TV network years into the decline of cable. What the fuck was that? A lot of talk over what the Cubs might do this winter as far as getting rid of some of these guys. This crop of players, this core who they have been had for several years now, has disappointed late in the season year after year. In fact, rumor has it one of the Cubs catchers, either Wilson Contreras or Victor Caratini, have also been discussed with the Padres, which is important considering they just gave up Mejia in that Blake Snell trade, and besides that, they only really have Austin Nola. So at least a solid backup is needed for the Dads. Word is actually, though, that their top catching prospect, a very high-ranked catching prospect, Luis Campusano, is on the table if they want Darvish. They got to get a massive package for you, the Cubs. Like, I'm speaking to baseball operations president Jed Hoyer here personally. If you fuck this up, don't show your face to me, because I will have some stern words in response. Darvish is at the top of his game. He's been arguably the best pitcher in baseball since the summer of 2019. And if you're also trading one of two catchers, and even Victor Caratini, the backup, is a decent hitter as far as catchers go, you got to get something huge. And I don't just mean Campusano. I mean guys that can win now. Because isn't this what the Cubs are trying to do? They're trying to retool. Okay, they're not trying to rebuild. They're trying to switch some pieces around. Okay, these batters we've had for the last 3-4 years, these guys can't hit in September. Okay, let's get somebody who can. So I'd be very interested to see what the Cubs can net here, but I'm also very worried. I'm very tense because word on the wire is that negotiations have been going very smoothly. Things are very optimistic. There might even be a finalized trade by the end of the day. Reports have been coming in pretty much by the hour at a certain point this afternoon. I was going crazy because I was trying to write this because the Snell trade happened last night and then Ha-Seong Kim got signed this morning. Ooh, wow. Keep an eye on the stove. It is scalding hot. I got more to say as far as what this could mean for the Cubs and all that, but I want to hold that back until a trade actually goes down. And look at that. I haven't even gotten into some of the other stuff that was going on, some lower key moves that happened, some pitching additions, some minor league moves that I'd just like to note, and not to mention another trade, and a pretty big trade as well, I would say. Josh Bell going from the Pirates to the Washington Nationals. The Pirates seem to be going into rebuild mode. They've been talking about some other guys too, but Josh Bell officially going to D.C. in exchange for a couple of minor league pitchers. I'll leave that and some of the other stuff to the next video, but for now, Stoveminders, please keep an eye on the stove, because if that thing catches on fire, we're gonna have the fire department showing up, and they're gonna have some questions about what the fuck we were doing. San Diego Padres. If you're a Padres fan, celebrate. Do whatever you need to do. I don't know what they do down in San Diego. Go surfing or something. Light off a couple of bombs. I know it's a big military town, and oh my goodness, the birds are chasing each other. This is huge. Even as things stand, with the additions of Blake Snell and Ha-Seong Kim, this is an improved team. They addressed their needs, starting pitching first and foremost. And I guess they needed somebody in the infield. Cronenworth was not a firm second baseman, and they had some questions about their corner outfields with Tommy Pham getting hurt, either on the field or off the field or in the strip club parking lot. And Will Myers is just a cautionary tale, if anything. Yeah. Wow, a lot of hype in San Diego. Get ready to hear about all that. And just one last note, just all the Padres fans saying oh, we're also going to get Trevor Bauer. Maybe if this Cubs trade falls through and everything points to the exact opposite happening, then you can probably shoehorn in Bauer. But if you add Darvish to the payroll, you're looking at almost $180 million. You're not adding Bowie on top of that. Okay, you're not. Just to tell you. Okay, I'm done here. Now I got to go make this video in anticipation for what could be an enormous Cubs-Padres trade. Bye-bye.